Now, if I was excited for the last brew, I'm a kid at Christmas for this one, as today we take a trip down the yellow drip road. And as we touched on in our previous review, Pentrich are a Derbyshire-based brewery founded in 2015. And for my money, they have been sneaking well under people's radar, as I keep finding quality beer after quality beer. All they're really missing is that big hype machine, but I'm doing my damnedest to change that. Today we have a big Impy Lactose IPA, hopped with an ungodly amount of both the Mosaic and the Mosaic Cryo, and brewed with a touch of that aforementioned lactose. The sweetness rounds off with a punchy citrus and blueberry notes from those hops, making for a smooth and dangerously drinkable Imperial IPA. And I ain't gonna lie, lactose or Milk Shake IPAs are my favourite kind of IPA. Yeah, I like 'em smooth and creamy and thick. And if I were to bump into that wonderful Wizard of Oz, I wouldn't ask for a heart nor a brain. No, I'd be asking for more milkshake IPAs. So let's get off to that Emerald City. Let's follow this yellow drip road. Let's get pouring. So it is very sweet, lots of vanilla right up top. That lactose really is getting to work early. And there are some sweet berry aromas in there too. And it is almost a little spongy, lemon drizzle cake-esque. And yeah, it is real sweet up top. That creamy vanilla really coating the mouth. But there is a subtle sharp or tangy citrus note just in behind. And there are some fruity notes in there too. You're getting some berries, you're getting some stone fruit as well, but they do seem a little on the overripe side, which fades out to a real zesty, bitter finish. And there is an almost dry mustiness to that finish too. And there is a little note of peach and apricot in those middles too. It's almost got a tangy marmalade vibe to it. And along with those marmalade notes, it is starting to develop some grassy notes in the tail. And that finish, it does leave a bitterness. It's a zesty, rindy bitterness, and it lingers long in the mouth, along with a lick of that lactose. Although it's not so much creamy, it's more yogurty. There is something of the sour cream or natural Greek yogurt about it, which, to be fair, was not what I had been expecting. And now we're down into the beer sum. I sure don't feel like I'm in Kansas anymore, as this really has turned on its head any notion of what I thought a lactose IPA should be. Because sweet or milkshake-like, it most certainly isn't. So, much like that West Coast we had earlier in the week, this caught me just a little off guard, as I definitely expected big, creamy and sweet notes to really dominate things. But in fact, it's a much drier, bitterer beer than you might expect. As that lactose, it's more like sour cream or natural yogurt, instead of that vanilla-y sweet that you might, or at least I, expected. And those middles, they were less berry-like, or even blueberry as advertised, and more marmalade-like, with a subtle tang and a sharp citrus, before fading out with dry and somewhat musty and then grassiness in the finish. And that bitterness lingers with a fresh zestiness in the mouth. But I've got to admit, these past two brews have had me in a spin. As you expect one thing, and you get something just a little different. But I tell you what, I don't think I mind. It's a real good thing to play with expectations and keep people just a little on their toes.